Good afternoon all. Smile is the universal welcome. We sunshine with a radiance. We embrace this new day and a new beginning with welcome. Good afternoon all. I'm Linda from Computer Science Department. On behalf of CS Department, welcome you all for this workshop. Let me first acknowledge the presence of our eminent chief guest, Father Jitu Matthew, former Assistant Professor of St. Joseph College of Engineering and Technology, Kerala. We welcome you, Father. And next, I would like to invite our HOD, Dr. Sober Smiles David, sir. We welcome you, sir, and I invite all the staff members and students for this workshop. Welcome you all. Time is yours, Father.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Myself, Father Jitu Matthew. Linda, thank you so much for your warm welcome.
Thank you, Father.
Since we are technical students, technology is the main theme of our subject area. We study everything. When I joined for my degree course, the very first day, the teachers told us that you have to be updated every day since you are going to study computer application. So this is your area. You have to update with the recent times, recent studies, research in your area. But on that day, actually we couldn't understand what they are saying because we are on the very first day of the course. Later, the coming years, we could understand that the real meaning and implications of those words. Actually, what does it mean, or what are the implications of what they told us? The same thing is described here as an introduction. Technology is constantly updating at such a rapid pace that it seems to be faster than light. A technology or programming language that is making the rounds this week may be obsolete by the next few days. As more and more funds are invested in research and development, computer scientists and professionals are constantly tweaking and improving existing technologies to get the most out of them. As a result, new programming language, library, patch, or plugin get released almost every year. To keep up with this crazy pace of development, you have to keep learning the latest technology concepts. We will look at the most trending technologies that you must learn. I think you might have this kind of experience because when you join here for our first year, first day, the trending programming languages may be something, but now when you are going to complete your course, it may be a different one. That's the current scenario. So the programming level, the development phase, or the testing phase, or the process model, software process model, everything is changing. Day by day, it is changing. So we have to know and we have to get into this sphere. Otherwise, we will be discarded from the realm of this computer science or the computer application. So we can see some of the major trends in computer science, and you all might have heard about it. I know it, but but I know I don't like. Since the lack of time, we cannot go into detail. we just I would like to just introduce some of the themes and what is it. Just that some few words about the emerging trends. So let us see. Main technologies: artificial intelligence, data science, Internet of Things, blockchain, robotic process automation, virtual reality, intelligent apps. First one is artificial intelligence. So, artificial intelligence is the technology used for equipping computer systems with the ability to make decisions like humans. Being one of the trending technologies, when AI programs are fed to systems, the aim is to mimic human intelligence for performing complex tasks such as pattern recognition, speech recognition, weather forecast, and medical diagnosis. So, when we think about artificial intelligence, the main concerns in this field are artificial intelligence, of course. Along with artificial intelligence, the main concepts are machine learning and deep learning. I think you all know, you all are familiar with these terms. Sometimes you might have done your projects in this area. So, uh, all of us have some kind of knowledge about these areas. Anyway, I would like to distinguish between these three. First of all, artificial intelligence, as we have discussed, any technique that enables computers to mimic human intelligence. It includes machine learning. That means machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that includes techniques that enables machines to improve a task with experience. That means previous experiences are given. So based on the experiences, it analyzes, classifies things and analyzes. So based on that, it predicts something. Next one is deep learning. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning. It's based on neural networks that permit a machine to train itself to perform a task. It's based on neural networks. We all have studied about neural network. The human neurons, each neurons are connected each with each other so that it can transmit a message immediately. So that kind of precision and other things are assigned to this neural networks. So with the help with the help of this neural network, a machine can perform. Machine is trained to perform a task. That's the difference between machine learning and deep learning. With a simple example, I will explain it. Uh, we all have familiar with in machine learning. Machine learning, uh, suppose there are a group of students. There are nearly 50 or 100 students are there, both boys and girls. So we want to plot the height and weight of those students in a graph. Based on the graph, in the x-axis we plot height and in the y-axis we plot the weights of these students. So, based on the values plotted in the graph, we can say that we can arrive at a conclusion. That means how to find the weight of a student. So in the most cases, this will happen because height minus 100. So that will be the weight. It can be concluded from this graph because in that graph we have included all the details of a particular group. So based on this information, we predict that using this formula, we can find the weight of each student. We all know that it may be correct, but in all other occasions, it will not correct. So that's the machine learning. But when we come into deep learning, in deep learning, suppose how to identify an object. Suppose there is a square. How to identify whether it is a square or not? and seeing an object, identify whether it is an square, it is a square or not. So for this, our eyes do it checks whether there are four lines or not associated with that figure. If those four lines are in the cross examination, if they are connected, closed, perpendicular, and if they are equal as well, then we can say that it's a square. In that way, so in deep learning, a hierarchy of concepts are applied. So usually deep learning, this kind of voice, text, voice, video, or images are given as inputs. So in each feature is taken and it is analyzed by the machine itself, and it predicts that it's something, whether it is an object or it is a particular object or not. So some basic difference between machine learning and deep learning. Data requirement in deep learning, it requires large volume of data, while in machine learning, it can train on lesser data. Accuracy level is in deep learning, the accuracy level provides high accuracy, but while in machine learning, it gives lesser accuracy. Training data, it takes longer time to train data in deep learning, but it takes lesser time to train. Hardware dependency, since it deals with the large volume of data, it needs the hardware must be highly configured. That means it requires GPU to train properly. But in machine learning, it needs only CPU. And hyperparameter tuning, it can be tuned in various different ways, but in machine learning, limited tuning capabilities. So after studying this course, means while we are uh, well versed in this artificial intelligence, we have this kind of job opportunities: machine learning engineer, data scientist, computer vision engineer, business intelligence developer, data analyst. Next one is data science. Data science is the technology that helps to make sense of complicated data. You know that data is produced in a large amount every day by companies. This includes business data, sales data, customer profile information, server data, and financial figures. You just think about the current situation, because now it's a time of IoT. Now, however, we are going to see each of them. Anyway, in IoT, each second, large volume of data is produced. In each business organization, large volumes of data are there. So, in order to understand this data, it must be in an understandable format. That means it will be useful. That means a data, when it is converted into an information, there is a change. That means it is transformed into information. So when it is an information, then only it is useful for us, for an organization, because using this data we can understand the company's business performance, customer retention, customer satisfaction, or how to improve the working of an organization or a business. What are the laws? What are the benefits of a particular institution? These are done using these kinds of data. So, using this kind of data, the company is the data is processed. So, it's a function of data scientist. Data science is an interdisciplinary field that uses scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and systems to extract knowledge and insight from many structured and unstructured data. Data science is related to data mining, machine learning, and big data. So nowadays, this area, that means for data analyst or in the field of data science, a huge amount is paid to an employee who is well versed in this area. So Harvard Business Review called this data science as the sexiest job of 21st century. But getting a job in this field will require you to have a thorough understanding of mathematics, statistics, or computer science and programming. So the benefit is very higher, but getting that kind of job is not easy. So what are the positions after this completing the course? We get data scientist, data architect, business intelligence manager, data engineer, data analyst, and business analyst. Another one is Internet of Things. Internet of Things, IoT, is a network of devices that are connected to each other. The devices can interact and share data with each other. These devices may be connected by Wi-Fi and they share data about their environment and how they are being used. These devices have a computer chip that facilitates this exchange. Knowingly or unknowingly, we all are using any form of this IoT in our daily life. Any form of IoT. Most of us have any of the smart watch or smart band. So, using this smart band, a remote person in a remote area or remotely standing, he can access the data from myself. Since I am using a smart watch, another person or another company gets data, health data of myself. So this data can be my calorie burn, my steps daily, how many steps I cover, or my blood pressure, my heartbeat, everything. All these kinds of data are available to a third party or another person or another company. So these are the impacts or these are usages of Internet of Things. As I have mentioned at the beginning of this session, IoT is related or used in many of our daily life. So it has a variety of applications in our daily life. We can see that smart homes, wearables, smart cities, smart grids, industrial internet, smart farming, smart supply chain, smart retail, connected health, connected car, etc. So we cannot limit the applications of IoT within this 10 points. It's beyond these 10 points because it's related with every area, every aspects of our life, agriculture, our our city, our day-to-day life, our homes, everywhere we can see the applications of this IoT. So among those applications, we try to see some of them. IoT applications in industrial automation. In industry, yes, IoT is used for smart tracking for products in transit, notifies users on deviations in delivery plans. It creates digital factories, improves line of command in work units, monitors in near real time throughout the supply chain, provides cross-channel visibility into inventories, product quality testing in various stages of manufacturing cycle, packaging optimization. We all have heard about some of the accidents and some of the developments in the area of industry. Since it's the era of industry 4.0, the kind of revolution is also in the field of industry. That means when a particular object is produced in a factory, from the very moment, from the very scratch itself, we can monitor its progress, working progress, the quality, etc. can be verified using these kinds of IoT applications. Also, if sometimes there will be in some area in some acid times, We cannot check the level and other things directly because some are poisonous, some are injurious to our body, human body. In those situations, this type of IoT are very much helpful. Also, we can monitor the delivery of some products using GPS and other things. We can monitor the transit of some products. These are some of the applications in industry. So another application of IoT is smart cities. Smart cities means there are major concerns regarding a city. The most important thing is the traffic management. We all have suffered a lot of problems regarding this traffic because we don't know what will be the situation in another area while we are traveling. But using this kind of IoT, we get notifications regarding any unexpected accident or natural calamities. So if we get any notifications, we can avoid that route and we can take deviations so that the traffic can be avoided. Another one is air quality. The quality of air is the most important aspect concerning the lives of people, especially in city life. So using this kind of IoT, we can check the quality of air, where it is polluted, the amount of pollution, etc. can be done using IoT. Also, public safety can be ensured by the authority. Nowadays, in the city and in other places, surveillance cameras are fixed so that the authorities can monitor the movements of the people, the vehicles, transactions, etc. Everything can be monitored using the surveillance camera so that the safety of the persons can be ensured. Another important matter is parking. Nowadays, the most important issue regarding either it is a mall or housing area, whatever it is, the main problem is for parking. But using the IoT, we get notifications regarding there are sufficient places to park in nearby a house, nearby an apartment, or a shopping mall. So, in the area of smart parking, IoT can help a lot. Another one is smart lighting and smart waste collection. This is very useful because sometimes the authority or the waste collector they may not know the actual condition of the waste bins. But using this IoT, they get notifications what the amount of waste in the waste bins. If it is full, then they can come and collect the waste bins from there, the waste from the waste bins, so that it will be clean. So these are some of the applications of IoT in smart city. Another one is healthcare. Healthcare is one of the most important area of IoT application. We all know that in the earlier days, using sorry, uh, there was if we have some kind of sickness, surely we have to go to a hospital. Sometimes it is nearby our area, or go to another area. There we have to consult a doctor. We may have checkup, and we have to get those results. Again, we have to consult the doctor. So it will time taking, a lot of money, lot of time, etc. But using IoT, the distance between the healthcare workers and the person is minimized. That means everything is available in our mobile or any other equipment. As I have mentioned earlier, we have some kind of wearable. Using this wearable, we get the basic health related data, our blood pressure, oxygen saturation level, heart rate, blood, etc., glucose level, etc. Everything is available. A doctor who is remotely, he can or she can monitor the condition of a patient So there is no need to come to the hospital each time. So he can, or the doctor can prescribe medicine. So in that way, the interaction between the doctor and the patient is increased. Another one is assisted living. That means there are people who are living in their houses. Sometimes, especially the old people who are living in their houses alone, they need the utmost care. But due to the situation, they won't get it. But because of the help of IoT, whenever there is a necessity, they can use some kind of alarms, or they can give any kind of reminders or warnings to others, so that others can come to their house and the others can give help to these people. Also, doctors and healthcare services, they can provide all kinds of support to this people. Also, there are some other kind of applications in health industry. That means they can monitor, they can diagnose using this kind of wearables or other equipments. The doctors can remotely access the details of the patient. So these are some of the applications in healthcare. Another one is smartphone. Smartphone, we have seen so many videos regarding this smart home. Everything, the devices are connected to the internet, so we get notifications, or we can give commands to these things. The home appliances become smart. The refrigerator becomes smart, so that it will give notifications whenever the things in the fridge or refrigerator are empty. uh, Sometimes it can give directly or place orders either in Amazon or Flipkart or to the grocery shop. So things will be available. And also surveillance camera, everything that can be connected and controlled. So our normal houses becomes smart. Another aspect of Internet of Things is in agriculture. In agriculture, we can mainly focus on this area. These are the precision agriculture. Actually, we in the agriculture field, the farming is mainly based on some kind of environmental factors. So, in order to get this kind of data, sometimes it's not easy. But with the help of this IoT, that means using some kind of sensors, we can detect and other things using this kind of sensors. So, sensing this kind of important aspects regarding agriculture, the agriculture becomes becomes more precise. With the help of drones, we can monitor the plants under things, and we can apply fertilizers. And in that way, drones can be used using this IoT. Another aspect is livestock monitoring or smart greenhouse. Smart greenhouse, as we all have heard about greenhouses, but it becomes smart with the help of IoT. That means uh, in order to grow, a plant needs sufficient condition of temperature, water, humidity, etc. That can be set using IoT. These are some of the applications of IoT in some of the fields. After experts in this area, we get this kind of jobs: IoT software developer, system design engineer, IoT product manager, IoT research developer, IoT solution architect. Next one is blockchain. Actually, this blockchain and other things, as I have already mentioned, it will take a lot of time to explain. But simply speaking, blockchain is an electronic ledger that can be shared among different users. This helps in creating a record of transactions that cannot be altered. Each of these records is timestamped and linked to the previous one. So every time a new transaction is added to the ledger, it is stored as another block in the chain of transactions. Hence the name blockchain. Blockchain is updated after the different parties contributing to the ledger agree. After new data is fed into block, it cannot be erased. This makes technology verifiable and secure. As we all familiar with this term blockchain because it's more secure. So, simply speaking, how it works, how a blockchain works, blockchain technology. Simply we can see that here someone requests a transaction. In that transaction, he, if whenever there is a request for a transaction, that request is broadcasted in a group, in a network of peer-to-peer network. That means this network is consists of computers. These computers are known as nodes. So, in this network, each node must validate this transaction. That means after validation, those systems with 50%, more than 50% acceptance is only accepted by this node, this network. Otherwise, it will be rejected. That means validation is very necessary. Here, after validation, that means all the other nodes validate, they verify the transaction. Then, after once it's verified, the transaction is combined with the other transaction to create a new block of data for the ledger. That means after the verification, this block is added to the existing blocks of chain, this blockchain. Hence, the transaction becomes complete. So, these are the main jobs in the area: blockchain developers, blockchain quality engineer, blockchain legal consultant or attorney, blockchain engineer. Another area is robotic process automation. Here, this area also an important area because nowadays it's all related with robotics. So robotic process automation means it's a technology used for automating daily tasks similar to artificial intelligence. That means as a human being, how he or she does some kind of daily activities the same way. The system is automated to perform such kind of activities daily. For example, handling or replying to mails and processing some kind of transactions, handling business data. This was routine work. So this kind of data is handled by some of the softwares which are automated. This kind of work is known as robotic process automation. So some of the areas, some of the job opportunities in the field are RPA developer, business analyst, consultant, solution architect, project manager. Next one is virtual reality. We all are familiar with virtual reality, especially in the field of gaming. So, much more explanation is not necessary. Anyway, it is the technology by which you can immerse yourself in an environment that seems astonishingly realistic. It is the use of computer technology for creating a simulated environment. Sorry. It is very popularly used for playing computer games. Unlike traditional games where you experience the gaming environment by viewing it on the screen, you are directly placed in the environment. That actually happens in virtual reality. Concepts such as touch, hearing, smell, or vision, etc., are simulated in this environment. As we have mentioned, the main aspect or implications of this virtual reality is in gaming. It has another important area. That means using this virtual reality, some kind of training process is taking place. For example, uh, in the aircraft training, medical surgery training, or pilot training, in these fields, this virtual reality can be applied. Because all these areas which are dealt with some of the important aspects of either the human life or the expensive times in times. So in that area, as you know, a person who cannot directly involve in the beginning of his study for a surgery. So with the help of this virtual reality, this kind of activities can be done using this virtual reality or give pilot training. The atmosphere is created there so that he gets all the situations, so that the training takes place in a very good manner. So this virtual reality is not only for use with entertainment, but it is also used by the US Navy or Coast Guard for training staff. They use a virtual VR game called a virtual ship. AR and VR are used by doctors while performing surgery. Augmented reality is the technology used for improving this virtual environment. So, this AR and VR are used by doctors while performing surgery. Visitors in an amusement park or museum can also use the technology to enhance their experience. The main jobs in this area are content producer, AR and VR content writers, produce product management, software engineer, UI and UX design, quality assurance. Next one is intelligent apps. We all have seen these images associated with our mobile or laptop. First one is Siri, second one is Cortana, Alexa, OK Google, that means Google Assistant, Hi Bixby, Bixby is associated with Samsung. Because these are the intelligent apps which are used. They are for make use of AI components such as machine learning, deep learning, data analytics, robotics, and natural language processing. They help you in making decisions based on real-time data or historical data. Some of the examples are voice assistant. That means, as we have mentioned, Siri, Google Assistant, etc. The previous days, these kinds of apps were available along with the devices, MacBook, laptop, or mobile phones. In these devices, it was available. But nowadays, it can be applied in any of the wearables, devices, vehicles, etc. For example, in some of the smart watches, Alexa is available, example Fitbit. So we can give directly instructions to our watch and they will perform some kind of activities. And another one is regarding vehicles. Now, while traveling, we can give direct instructions of voice commands. That means voice assistance is available. So, in order to play music or some kind of other instructions, we can give some kind of voice assistance. So, this kind of applications are available in any area. So, these are the intelligent apps. More than this, some of the applications which are smart and intelligent, they make use of deep learning, machine learning, data analytics, etc. So, it can be used or it can perform some of the actions without the involvement of the human interaction, human person. So in that way, technology has emerged. More than that, some of the areas. I have already told you Internet of Things, but now Internet of Behavior is there. So this area is there to analyze the behavior of a particular group in an organization. So this branch analyzes the behavior of a particular group and make corresponding actions regarding this. For example, as we all know, nowadays government and other agencies consistently tell us to wear face mask in order to prevent COVID-19. So, in some of the institutions or some of the organizations, people are reluctant to use this kind of mask. So, this Internet of Behavior, which analyzes the behavior pattern of these persons and make analysis, a report on it, and based on the report, the authority can take corrective measures. In that way, it will be improved. So, these are the some of the areas in uh, in that it's a growing as a trending area. In that way, I have already mentioned augmented reality or virtual reality. These are the simple terms which are already implemented, but it grows beyond the level which we conceive now or which we can understand now. So, in each case, what is necessary, what is the important thing is to understand the thing which we have, which is available now. Because technology will change our lives and the way we conduct our day-to-day activities. Major technological breakthroughs will be interdisciplinary. So engineers and scientists, technologists will need to be trained with the depth as well as breadth. So this must be an important matter. Especially you people are going to complete your course and within few months you will be in the society. That means you will be in the field. Sometimes someone will be seeking for jobs, others will be seeking for higher education, admission for higher education. In that way, you all proceed with your career. In any case, the Charles Darwin's survival of the fittest should be in our mind. Everywhere, in each field, whether it is industry or academic, whatever is our field, we should think seriously that only the survival for the fittest. That means those who are capable of analyzing, understanding, and doing these kinds of works, they will survive. That means we have to get thorough knowledge with the latest technologies. For a job seeker, immediately after completing his or her course, that's the best time for that person. After 1 year, he or she is not a fresher. So, as a fresher, there will be some kind of job opportunities. Beyond that, the job opportunities will be minimized. So the chances will be minimized. Or it is difficult to get a job because we are outdated, and our juniors are also in the field. So we cannot, it is very difficult for us to get a job. So it should be in our mind. We all need to be trained with the depth and as well as breadth, each and everything. We all know that for a MNC or in a recruitment in a company, there will be at least 2 or 3 times of interviews. Maybe 2 times, 2 cycles of technical interview. One of HR interview. So in whatever maybe, we have to prove that we are an apt person for this job, or we are an apt person for this particular position in that company. So we have to improve ourselves. We have to get into contact with this kind of technologies. This is very much important. Learning to work in teams will be a paramount importance. This is also an important aspect because the earlier days the work was within that means it was segmented. Each part was in separate way. That means development was in one side, testing was in another side, deployment was in another side. But now the software process models were changed. apart from the earlier ones, now almost all the companies adopt agile model. We all know that what is agile model. That means a team together work for a product, not as a single person, not as a single person, but team as a whole. That means if there is a product, it is the fulfillment of that team. So we have to work in teams, in collaboration with others, work in collaboration, collaborating with each other. That is an important aspect. So we have to learn to work in teams because now that's the practice, that's a custom in the current scenario. So another important aspect is mass customization. Customization in the field of in every aspect. Customize it is customized. That means technology uh, that for an individual or a particular group of users or for an organization that must be customized. So in all way, we have to equip with new technologies and other things. Mass communication, sorry, technology will affect our future in unimagined ways. Unimagined ways. So the best way to predict the future is to invent it. We have to invent the future because we are in technology, not we are in a remote area simply looking at a technology. No, we are in technology, so we have to invent it. So these are some of the areas which I would like to point out. Thank you so much for your attention. If you have any query, you can ask.
Students, if you have any queries, kindly post your queries through a chat box. Otherwise, unmute yourself and then ask. Okay. Thank you for that. Good afternoon once again. I feel it a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks for this workshop. First and foremost, I would like to thank our chief guest or speaker, Father Jithu Matthew, for his informative session. And then I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to our HOD, Dr. Sober Smiles David sir, for his support. And then next, I would like to thank our staff members for their supports for this workshop. And then last but not the least, I want to thank all the participants for your wonderful cooperation. Thank you all. Thank you. Kindly, students, kindly fill the feedback form without fail. Thank you.